There we go. Okay. So I'm on YouTube. Whenever I do a live, I'm also on YouTube. And so I'm going to be going from Facebook to Instagram, and I'll see if I have time to go over to TikTok because I've got the big boot camp Zooms are starting today at noon. So, and when you know I'm sick. So anyway, good morning. So glad to finally catch a live in time. Excellent. Hi, Samantha. Thanks for joining. I always appreciate people's support. And I'm just here to answer your questions. I'm also peppering in some other stuff too, because a lot of what happens on these lives, I've realized, is it becomes mostly about discipline, but that's not what I'm all about at all. I'm more about connecting with kids and playing with them because their love language is play. So you enter their world to play with them, bond with them, connect with them. And that's the most important part of leadership is connecting with your kids, playing with them. So, but anyway, but everyone wants to know about discipline. I understand that. So, okay. Whew. Yeah, I am sick today, and it's the launch of my big. If you're in the boot camp, I hope you can turn up at noon. I'll be doing the live Zooms. It's all on the course, by the way. Look for the Zoom link on the course. You'll find it. It's week 1 because we're starting week 1. So I'm very excited about that. Anyway, what was I going to say? I'm between a rock and a hard place because if I take a lot of medication for how I'm feeling, then I'm going to be dopey for the Zoom, right? So I've got to stay sick, but sort of sharp. But once I start talking about parenting, it all just comes out anyway, so I'll be fine. Okay, I'm just waiting for your questions, so I'm just yabbering on. I was at Costco, I think the day before yesterday, and I didn't go down one aisle without hearing people sneeze. And I thought, oh, I'm doomed. I'm going to get sick. Sure enough, I got sick. It's just going around. Okay, so parenting questions. I'm just waiting for you. I'm not usually on at this time, but I've got that boot camp Zoom is starting today at noon. You might want to check that out if you're interested. It's all in the link above. And I've got to go to bed after that. So I've just got to, that's why I'm doing the live now, just because I know I'm going to crash after that. Okay, my boy's 9 years old. He is very hate to read the book. How can I make him interested to read? Okay, you can't always make kids interested in things. Not everyone, but a lot of people ask me, how do I make chores fun? How do I make homework fun? You don't. You teach your children that they've got to do what they need to do before they can do what they want to do. A lot of adults don't like reading, but they know they've got to do it, or they had to do it in school anyway. So yeah, it's not so much a matter of getting them to like it, just if you want to watch TV tonight or play video games tonight, you got to do your homework first. You got to do some reading first. So it's like that. You got to do what you need to do before you can do what you want to do. My kids got really good at this because whenever they'd say, can we watch TV, Mommy? I'd say, sure. Have you done your chores? And they'd race around doing them, and then they could watch TV. They understood. You got to do the hard stuff first, then you can do the fun stuff. Are you by chance taking on clients for private coaching soon? We want to hire you. It depends on the age and what you're going through. If it's nothing big, right now I'm really busy. So if it's something really difficult that you're dealing with, especially crisis work, I'll probably always take that on. And then it just depends, because sometimes I'll get a cancellation, like someone will say, oh, well, we're going away for 2 weeks, so then I can take someone else on, you see? So yeah, anyway, I can't answer that. It changes literally from hour to hour, whether or not I can take people on. And I just finished with a bunch of people. Their 5th session just happened. And then they always get first priority. So if they re-sign up, so a lot of people sign up again. So if they re-sign, then they get that spot again. So I take 2 things I take priority. Number 1 is crisis work. I specialize in team crisis. So I'll always take someone on who's the life and death crisis stuff, or my past clients. I'll always take a past client on. How do I handle a kid who swears all the time? My 3-year-old's been saying the F word. Yeah, just put down no bad words on the behavior board. The behavior board is completely free up above. Check that out. By the way, the behavior board is in the link. It's got the behavior board, which is free. Then there's my mini toddler courses. They're not free. My big boot camp course, that ain't free. And my coaching, that's not free either. But the free behavior board, that always was free and it always will be. A lot of people are getting really good results just with that behavior board. And if you look at it, really, it's about an accountability chart for the whole family. Some people call it a karma chart or karma board, whatever you want to call it. You break a rule, there's a consequence. Simple as that. Okay, I did that, but he didn't. Oh, the reading stuff. If you're really, was that a 9-year-old that doesn't like to read? If you're really struggling and you can't find any leverage, you have to hire me for that, because we'd have to find something. it can be tricky finding leverage, finding a way to get them to read or do homework or whatever. But yeah, that would be, I'd have to investigate and figure something out. Okay, so I'm just waiting for questions. I won't be on here long because I've got that Zoom. If you're interested, the boot camp Zoom starts at noon today. It's the kickoff to that 6 week of Zooms. I'll be going through the course with you, the boot camp course, answering questions in that. And but yeah, because I am sick today, wouldn't you know it? So anyway, I am sick today, so I don't want to do a really long live. I want to save my voice for that Zoom. But I won't be on later because I know I'm going to crash after that. So I need to rest. Okay, 1.5-year-old biting. I do have a mini course on toddlers who bite, kick, etc. If you want to check that out. Basically, it's consistent corrective actions. So every time they bite or do something aggressive, you say no, and you sort of push them away from you. You let them know, no, and you go like that. If they come at you again, you say no again. Just keep doing that. Then you just kind of wander off and do something else. But you've got to have a reaction. Do not do the mini therapy sessions. That big discussing it. You know what hurts me when you bite? They don't care. They're 1.5. So it's all these therapy sessions that are making everything tank. If you're doing a lot of that, it's just not. It's not leadership stuff to say, and you know you shouldn't do that, and that's all. I know it's trendy right now, but it's kind of garbage. Toddlers do not need therapy sessions. I know you say 2 and under is too young, so do you leave them off the behavior board? 3 under the age of 3 is they can't go on the behavior board. 3 kind of relies on them being able to stop and think before they act. And they can't do that under the age of 3. It kind of a lot happens at 3. That's the fork in the road too. If you've been a leader and consistent and followed up with this consistent corrective actions, as soon as they hit 3, they get easy. If you've been the pleaser parent, discussing all their big feelings, letting them get away with stuff, doing time out, all that stuff I hate, they go the other way. They get difficult. Or you might just have kids in the middle who are just never that challenging anyway. But yeah, the fork in the road is at 3. That's why the behavior board starts at 3. Okay, what do you do about a very disrespectful preteen? No punishments we've tried works. He threatens to live with his dad. It won't happen, but it's hurtful. Yeah, well, okay. It's, you're asking me, how do we fix kids? Are you a leader? If you're a leader, that wouldn't be happening. Look at your leadership skills. That's all I teach here. You might want to look at the boot camp course at noon today, or like, what time is it actually? Curious. Yeah, in less than 2 hours, I start my live Zooms with you on that boot camp course. It's a one-off. I never do it. So it's just like a spring thing going on. There's no extra charge for that. Anyone who's in the boot camp course can join those lives. I have no idea how many people are going to turn up. I spent good money upgrading my Zoom just in case a whole bunch of people turn up, because I have no idea. It might be 20, it might be 1,000. I have no idea how many people are going to turn up. Anyway, no, I think I capped it at 500. It'll get too much after that. I don't think that many people will turn up. But yeah, I have no idea. But it's just me going through the course with you. So check that out. It's all about your leadership. Remember, we're never fixing kids. We're teaching parents here. You lead, they will follow. If they're disrespectful, it means you're not a leader. If you're a leader, they respect leaders. You can't address attitude. Attitude is a reflection of your parenting. So yeah, you can't address that. You got a bad attitude. They're like, well, yeah, because you're not a leader. They don't know how to say that, but that's what they're thinking. If a kid gets a teacher or a coach that they really look up to, are they disrespectful to them? Of course not. Why? Because they respect them. They're a leader. So work on yourself. It's all you. Between the ages of 3 and 12 years old, their behaviors is a direct result of your parenting. That's why that course, the boot camp course, is 3 to 12 years old. How do you handle kids at 5 and 6 that you've already spoiled? Well, stop spoiling them for one thing, but also they're still really little, by the way, so it's quite okay to fix that. I specialize in teenagers. If you can get respect from teenagers who are really vile and disrespectful and difficult, yeah, you can do it with a 5 and 6-year-old. That's sort of easy. But yeah, you got to be consistent. Check out the behavior board. That's free. If you want to go to the next level, that's the boot camp course. I'm starting the live Zooms today at noon, my time. Pacific time. It's just a one-off. I'm just going through the course with you, answering questions. We'll see how that goes. I've never done that. No, I did do it once before with a small group when I built the course. It was a bit hectic, and that was only 20 people. So we'll see what happens today. Oh well. Being polished and perfect ain't my style anyway, so it might be a little bit crazy. I'm okay with that. Okay. This is a long question, but I do want to address it because I got a good point. Hello, my daughter is 6 and my son is 4. When my daughter does something bad to the little brother, I can't get her to apologize to him. So apologies don't teach them anything. She just won't. She can't scream or go to apologies. That's sort of like, yeah, it's kind of useless. So what you do is you put down no hitting as her rule. And when she hits her little brother, he gets to play with her favorite toy with you for like 15 minutes or half an hour. Okay? So yeah, that'll teach her. An apology, it's okay, but that's not where the lesson is. Like you can, when she starts respecting you, she will apologize. But yeah, no, that's not going to teach her anything. Nothing. She'll keep doing it. If she ever does apologize, would she stop hitting? No, I doubt it. Would you approach discipline differently? Well, I don't just call myself a disciplinarian. I call myself a leader. Would I approach leadership differently with a child who is autistic? Yes, I do. That's a specialty. I only talk about autism or ASD, kids on the spectrum, in coaching. If you're interested, you might want to look that up. Okay. Sort of a similar question to one I just had is, what do you do when your 3-year-old keeps calling his brother stupid? You say no bad words or name calling. Put that on the behavior board, and there's a consequence when he does. The behavior board is free. Check that out. You're on there too, by the way. That's what makes it work. Leaders are accountable. They're not listening to you. They're watching you. So if you're accountable for your actions, they're more likely to be accountable for theirs, right? When is it too late to start to correct? I have 4 kids, 9, 8, 4, and 3. I specialize in teenagers. So is it ever too late? No. Once they've moved out and they're financially independent, yeah, it's kind of too late. They have to be living at home and somewhat financially dependent upon you before I'll work with you. I've worked the oldest kid. The oldest kid I ever worked with the parents was 25. Very, still very completely dependent upon the parents. Wouldn't work, wouldn't do anything, and lived at home. So we got to work. I'll tell you, that was a challenge. That was years ago. But so long as they're still living at home and financially dependent upon you, at least to some level, we can work on it. My husband learned to apologize no matter what, and it drives me insane because it's never authentic. Oh, I said I'm sorry. I said just to get you off his back. There are 4 steps to apologizing. Like, I'm not big on apologies because usually people who I'm sorry, that kind of stuff, I didn't mean it, all that garbage, it's just to get you off their back. There's nothing authentic about it, okay? There's 4 steps to a true apology. Say I'm sorry, which just gets the ball rolling. I don't really care. It's usually empty words anyway. So say you're sorry. The second step is take full responsibility. It was all my fault. Don't say, I know I shouldn't have yelled at you, but if you hadn't done that, you see what I mean? Don't switch it. So I'm sorry. It was all my fault. Now, here's the thing. Number 3 is make amends. What can I do to make it up to you? How about I suggest something? They might come up with something better. And then the 4th one is don't keep doing it. If you keep doing the same thing, that apology meant crap. Anyway, I got to move over to Instagram now. I got to save my voice because I'm doing the big boot camp course. Zoom calls are starting at noon, and I'm sick. Wouldn't you know? I'm sick. Anyway, doesn't matter. I was sick all day yesterday, and I still coached all day. So once I start talking to clients, I get all hyped up, and then I crash hard. So anyway, I'll be fine for it, but I don't want to be on here too long. I can feel myself getting tired right now. Anyway, I'm going to go over to Instagram, and I'm on YouTube the whole time. So check out the boot camp course. I'm starting in like an hour and a half. I'm starting the lives. I never normally do that, but I'll be going through it. It's no extra charge for that. It's just if you're already in the boot camp course or you want to buy it now, whatever, check it out up above, and I'll be going through it live Zooms. The link for those Zooms is actually in week 1 of the course. So you'll see it there. I put that in this morning. So anyway, okay, thanks so much for joining me, and I'm moving over to Instagram now. Happy parenting. Oh, God, I hate being sick. I'm just talking to YouTube here while I'm moving over. The thing is, I work 7 days a week, so it's not like if I get sick, I can take a day off. I'm not complaining. I love what I do. I don't have to work 7 days a week. I just do. Okay. Hello, I'm on Instagram. Everyone turns up in one pile on Instagram. Nowhere else. Everywhere else they filter in, not on Instagram. Don't know what that noise was. No one's turned up yet. That is very weird. Did I do it right? Oh, am I on Instagram? Where am I? I'm going to make sure. I'm not even sure I was on Instagram. I don't know where I was. Oops. I don't know what I was doing there. I don't think I was on it. Where the heck was I? Maybe I was. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, everyone's coming in now. I was just live somewhere. I don't know where I was. Maybe I went back to Facebook and did a live there. Anyway, I don't know. I messed up. Okay. So thanks so much for joining me. I know a lot of you have probably come over from Facebook, and that's great. Thank you so much. Anyway, okay. So I'll wait till I get about 100 people in here. Trying to save my voice here. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't let people come in my live videos. A couple of years ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, I first started doing lives, and I didn't know how to do them. I was on TikTok, and someone requested coming into my live, and I let them in. I didn't know what I was doing, and I let them in, and they started talking about their business because I got a big following. So, and they were after my people. I got rid of them so fast. They were trying to sell to my people, using my live to sell. So I was scarred for life for that. Nope, never again. Stupid me. How to help with toddler meltdowns. You don't really okay, check out my toddler tantrum course. It's called Tantrum Busting. But meltdown scenes, fits, and tantrums are all just them expressing they're not getting their own way. You just ignore that. You do not need to validate that. You'd never discuss a tantrum before, during, or after. There is no point whatsoever. You can argue with me about that. Oh, good luck with that one. Some of my clients are child psychologists, and they'll argue that with me. And I don't know. I think we both think that we win, but they hire me to help them, right? So yeah, there's no point. A tantrum is just a loss of emotional control at not getting what they want. That's it. You do not need to validate that. Where you put your attention, where you put your focus grows. If you give any attention to a tantrum, you're fertilizing it and it will grow. I don't have the bandwidth to tell the story right now because I am sick. So I'm saving myself for the boot camp live, which is happening like in an hour and a half. Anyway. You just completely ignore tantrums, but you're right there. Look like you're just waiting for it. Don't like you're waiting for a bus. Don't go on your phone. Don't get into a conversation. I think that's rude and dismissive. They're still going through something, but you're right there. Don't look at them or talk to them. You're just waiting it out. If they get physical, just physically restrain them from hurting you or whatever, but still don't look at them or talk to them. As soon as they're done, this is your opportunity. As soon as they're finished, oh, do you want to read a book? You see, you reward the calm, not the crazy. They will start to connect that. They usually get worse before they get better because they're used to you giving them attention during a tantrum. So they're going to up it just to get the old you back. The new you is going to take a little bit of time to sink in. But yeah, it's worth it. Wherever you put your energy, wherever you put your focus is what grows. If you're putting your energy into always dealing with bad behavior, it's going to get worse, guaranteed. I don't focus on bad behavior. I deal with it like that, fast. And then I focus on the good kid. That's the pool story. That is the first video on my page here, is the pool story. It's called Example of Leadership Parenting. It's the best story I have to explain how I feel about parenting. It wasn't even my kid, but it was, they do something bad, you deal with it like that, fast, and then you connect with them, you bond with them, bring out the best in them, and they'll be good as gold for you. That's the way eventually, you got to invest in this. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. I know I had a new client yesterday. When will we get results? And I said, well, not in the next 5 minutes. So, yeah, they're just dying for results. And I said, it's usually about 3 weeks. You start to see things happening. Sometimes it's the first week. Sometimes it's the 4th or 5th, depending on what you're going through, your own personal battles, what you're having to overcome, the way you were parented. Some parents are really traumatized by the way they were parented, so they're struggling with all this. I'm not a therapist. They say I am, but I'm not. I mean, they say, oh, you do therapy. I don't. I only tell you, I only work through what we need to do to get you to be a leader. Sometimes we do have to unpack all the old baggage, but I don't like to focus on the negative. I don't like to focus on the past. I focus on the future. I focus on where I want to take you. I'm not a therapist. I'm a coach. I'm going to give you step by step stuff to do to get results. I'm not going to harp on what you did before. Why would I? You know, if you made mistakes, everyone makes mistakes. If you made mistakes in the past, parents are all, I'm so ashamed to admit this. And I'm like this. Yeah, okay. And they admit it. And I go, yeah, I hear that all the time. Anyway, let's move forward. I say, get it out of your system. Tell me. And then I'll just go, okay, fine. Now let's move forward. So there's no point harping on mistakes you made in the past. That happens all the time in coaching. All the time. And I think sometimes they expect me to go, well, that's okay. I'm not like that. I say, yeah, you messed up. Big deal. We all mess up. Like, now let's move forward. Like, I'm not going to say that you did anything, that you didn't mess up. That's ridiculous. I'm not patronizing. So yeah, I'll say, yeah, that was stupid. I've done stupid things too. Big deal. Let's move forward. Let's get smarter from today and onward, right? So, and you're still going to make mistakes. That's all part of it. Yeah, I don't like all that phony stuff. Okay. Say it like it is. Own it. Own it. If you did something dumb in the past with your kids, just admit it. Move forward. Geez, we're not perfect beings here. We all make mistakes, all of us. I remember my son and I, he was a teenager, and we were laughing at all the stupid things I'd done as a mother, usually around cooking. Whenever I said, I know what I'll do, they'd run because I hate cooking. And if I decide to be creative with cooking, run. Anyway, so we're talking about all the stupid things I've done as a mother. And then I said to him, what about all the great things I've done? He went, what? You gotta laugh at yourself. Okay. By the way, check out the boot camp course. The live starts in an hour and a half. I'll be on there. Just if you're in the boot camp course, I'll be on there going through each week with you. Plus, I got a bonus 6th week to find out how did it go, because the course is only 5 weeks. But I'm very excited about that. It's just a one-off. I don't know where we're going with this, but I wanted to get all these lives. It's a Zoom call and it's a group coaching session with whoever turns up. Might be 20, might be 200. I have no idea. If I get 2 people, it'll be personal coaching for 2 people. So yeah, it's just taking you through the course week for week. It's just a one-off. It'll be embedded in the course afterwards. So, and you have to sign a disclaimer to say you understand that. You know what's funny is on Zoom, I changed that and I've got like a disclaimer that you have to agree that I can use this live, this Zoom call for my marketing purposes and all that stuff, so I can put it out in public. I was terrified last night. I had a coaching client after I'd set that toggle up to do that. And I thought, oh my God, what if I made a mistake and didn't toggle that off? And the poor clients who hire me for private coaching get this disclaimer. I want to use this coaching session for marketing purposes. Wouldn't that have been awful? Oh God, I was so terrified I'd done that. Just as they arrived, I said, you didn't get a disclaimer, did you? No. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, how embarrassing. I hate making mistakes like that. Like, I'm very protective of my clients. That would have been horrific. Well, they would have laughed once they realized. But they might not have come in. They might have seen that and said, what's with this dopey broad? Okay. Let me see. How long do you leave something on the behavior board if they have improved significantly but are still continuing with the behavior? Okay, good question on YouTube. The behavior board goes up and you slap it up and you do the behavior. And then the second week, you've got another behavior board. The third week, you've got another behavior board. Okay, so you're going to have 3 of them. You don't go past that. And then week 4 and week 5, you're not going to the behavior boards anymore. They still apply, but you're just directly, like, I would never use a behavior board. I want them looking at me. It sort of makes it easier for you. It's a teaching tool for you to learn how to be a leader. Okay, that's all it is. And but then once you've learned it, then you don't use them anymore. Okay, you just speak it. Like, you just say, well, you broke that rule. You shouldn't have done that. So I know what we'll do is you'll do this. You can kind of just wing it at that point. That's the idea. That's what the boot camp course is all about. The first 3 weeks are behavior boards. Week 4 is when you do in the moment discipline. You kind of pull away from the behavior boards. So that live starts in an hour and a half. I'll be doing that with you. I'll be going through the whole course with you live in Zoom. So you can ask questions in there. I'm not sure how it's going to go because I don't know how many people. I've never done it this way. I've never put it out in public like this before, this group coaching. So I don't know how it's going to go. I have no idea. But it'll just be me going through the course with you and then answering questions. I'm assuming it'll kind of be like this. There'll be too many questions to answer. But still, I'm going to try and pick the ones that I think would pertain to the most people. Can you talk about, oh, good question. I get this one a lot. Can you talk more about the reasoning of doing a chore as a consequence versus doing chores as a normal part of the day? Chores are never supposed to be fun. You just add another one on as a punishment. Don't try and make everything fun. Are you the pleaser parent who wants everything to be fun and all that? Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, chores, scrubbing the toilet, yippee. I mean, chores are not supposed to be fun. I happen to like it because I love cleaning. I remember as a kid, I used to love it when I got to clean. Anyway, I'm weird. But that's not normal. But anyway, so yeah, you don't worry about that. Just say, okay, your 3 chores every day are make your bed, put your toys away, and put your laundry away. Okay? By the way, you broke a rule. Now you're going to clean a window. Big deal. They still got to do the normal chores. If you can't get them to do the normal chores, you put follow chore chart on the behavior board. I wouldn't start with that in week 1. That's a little bit of a harder one because you got to get organized and all that. week one, make it as easy as possible on yourself because you're just learning how to make the behavior board work, right? I remember when I first started coaching 17 years ago, the first year I didn't have a behavior board. I was teaching what I did. I already had respect. So they were getting results. They were, but it wasn't, and I specialize in troubled teens. So, and they were getting results. But then I invented that behavior board and put the parents on it. Changed everything. Because parents have to, if you're not accountable, you're not a leader, you're a dictator. Okay? Yeah, so you want to be a leader. You want to be accountable. You mess up, you get punished too. Kids love that. That's what gets them on board. If they feel respected, they're more likely to respect you. You give respect to get it. You don't just go like, hey, silver platter, where's my respect? You got to earn that. I've worked for that. You got to work for it. But it's worth it. Once you get it, it's a piece of cake. Getting respect is hard work. Maintaining it's a piece of cake. Right through the teen years. What about bad habits like thumb sucking? Would that be on the behavior board? Absolutely not. That's like an addiction kind of thing. You would never put, that's too big of an ask. No, I wouldn't put that on there. That's a tricky one. I use diversion with that one. So I use like the elastic band or something on their hand, or they can have those bubble things where you pop them. As soon as they go to suck their thumb, say, remember the bubble thing, and you never criticize them for that, okay? There's no shame in that. It's just a habit. It's like drinking coffee or, you know what I mean? It's a habit. So yeah, don't shame them for that. And it's a tricky one. I knew someone years ago who had no thumbprints because he sucked his thumb till he was 12. I think he slept with them with thumbs in his mouth. I don't know. But imagine that. That's a really good play. He's not even a criminal, but he probably should be, right? But I guess they thumbprint the other stuff, or fingerprint you too. Okay, I got to get going because I've got to save my voice. I'm doing the live with the boot camp starting at noon, my time, Pacific time, so it's like an hour and a half, less than that now. I'll be on there, Zoom. It's a big group coaching call for the boot camp course. It's just a one-off, and those calls will be put, you have to agree to this disclaimer, they will be put on the course. So those Zooms will be public one day. And I don't know if I'm going to post it right away. We haven't quite decided how we're going to do that yet. Doesn't matter. Anyway, what am I looking at? Anyway, so it starts today. It goes for 6 weeks. Check out the bootcamp course above. If you have a 3 to 12-year-old, it might be for you. If not, then you can look at the mini toddler courses. If you have teenagers, you have to hire me for coaching because there's nothing for them except the behavior board. The behavior board is completely free. It starts at 3 and it goes till you're 103. Because I know people who've taken that to work and used it with staff. And they call it and they use humor with it too. Like, it's just a really good way to remind people if someone's late all the time, say if they're late, they can't turn up to the office without donuts for everybody or something like that. You know, they use humor with it. Anyway, it's just an accountability chart to remind people, hey, respect us. So anyway, I got to get going. Thanks so much for joining me. And I look forward to talking to, I don't know how many people here are going to turn up on the boot camp Zoom. You can check that out above if you're interested. And I'm very excited. I have no idea how many people are going to turn up. No idea. Yeah, could be 20, could be 200, could be more. I don't know. So yeah. Could be a little bit chaotic, but I don't mind that. So anyway, we'll talk soon, and happy parenting and happy Easter. Bye now.